Hello! Just kidding, it's me. Hey guys, hope you guys are all having a great morning so far. I wanted to join you through video in your class this morning to talk about some of our lessons for this month because I'm super excited about them specifically. We're talking about different ways to talk about God or describe God, different images of God, as we say. We call them images because these are things that we can imagine in our head, right? They're things that we see in real life, like a web, like we talked about last week, that we can know what that looks like and we can make sense of it in a different way. So these different images of God, I think, are really important, and we'll talk a little bit more about why as we get into it this month. So last week you talked about God is like a web, and you got to learn a little bit about how actual webs, like spider webs, are made, which is really cool. And you got to make your own web in your class. The hula hoops that you made last week that you added words to, we added some words that described webs or described God based on the stories and the videos that we heard and watched last week, which was really cool. And you guys get to keep adding to your web. And so this week we are talking about God as light, which is my personal favorite way to talk about God. We talk about light a lot at Christmas time as well. I think light is a really important way to talk about God because light has a lot of really important properties, right? Light keeps things alive. Light illuminates a room and illuminates dark places. Light is really great. It's important for our survival as people. So light is a really important element, and which is why I think it's a really cool way to talk about God, which is also really important to talk about. So this week, God as light. Some of you may know that I recently wrote and illustrated a book, which was really cool. This book that I wrote is called Sully's Light, and Sully's Light is a story about a girl named Sully, and she's amazing. I won't go into detail about it because you guys are going to read it today, so I'm super excited for you guys to read it. I want to hear what you think about it. And I want to hear also other adventures that you think Sully might be able to go on. But anyway, this is definitely a book that fits really well with our theme for today, talking about God as light. And so I'm super excited to hear what you think about Sully and her adventures and her discovery of this light. And yeah, so that's this week, God as light. Next week we'll talk about God as love, which we've also talked about a good bit, but that's an idea that comes straight out of the Bible actually, and we'll look at some of those stories and some of those verses and talk about what that means, that God is love. What does that mean? Because love is kind of hard to describe sometimes. So we'll talk a little bit about that next week. I'm super excited. And then the last week of this month, we're going to have a fill in the blank week. God as blank. And you're going to fill in the blank along with some of your other church family members, some other people who you may or may not have ever met who go to Grace Point, who are part of this community with you. And they're going to come spend a little bit of time with you on the 29th, so the last Sunday of this month. They're going to come visit your classes, and you guys get to talk about ways that you kind of think about God. What words would you use to describe? You'll have this whole web full of words by that time, so maybe one of those words feels really right to you. Maybe you have a completely different word that makes sense to you when you think about God. How would you describe God? If you were to answer the question, what is God like? How would you answer it? What word would you use or words would you use? In the meantime, enjoy today, enjoy Sully, enjoy thinking about God as light. See you guys later.